Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana if you're new here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I plan my weeks. I get so many questions from my Study With Me video, which if you have not seen, you should definitely go check that out. But I get a lot of comments asking how I do it, how I have time to study like that. And the only answer I could provide is that I plan. I plan my weeks out every single week. I plan my semesters out. And I'm just a very organized person, so I figured today I would show exactly how I plan, and then I also have some tips at the end of this video to share with you guys. Just some general tips for organization and planning, so stay tuned till the end of the video to get those. But without further ado, let's get on with this video.
Alrighty guys, so this is an overview of the spread I'm going to be using to plan out my week this week. And on the left hand side over here, I have a box for each one of my classes, and this is where I'm going to write down the tasks for each class of the week. And then on the right hand side, I just have a day for every single day this week where I'm going to place all of my tasks and kind of plan out when I want to do things so that I'm staying organized and on top of my game. Alright, so to begin, I'm going to go through each one of my classes one at a time, and here you're going to see I'm going to start with my first one, and I'm going to go to my assignment due dates, and this is where I'm going to see what I have due for the next upcoming week. And for this spread specifically, I'm actually planning out all of my assignments left for the rest of the semester. So all of my lectures, all of my homework, all of my discussion posts, I'm going to get that done this week so that next week I have the whole week to study for finals. So here I'm showing you that I only have one module left, which includes readings, a lecture, and then a discussion post. So in my notebook here, I'm just going to write out that I have a module due, and I know that it's for that class because, like I said, I write it down my assignments each for the class. So I wrote down that I have a module due, I have a discussion post I need to do, and then I have a reply, and then lastly I have one quiz for that. So that's essentially what I'm doing for every single one of my classes. I'm just doing it one by one, writing down everything that I have left to do, which lectures, which modules, which assignments, any quizzes or discussion posts. So here I'm doing my foundations class. I have a lot more to do than I did for my last class. I have a lot of modules left, so I'm here just writing them out, and then I'll show you guys after what that looks like. Okay, so here you're going to see me highlighting, and this is because this is something that I need to get done as soon as possible, and it's my practice exam for my ATI, and I have to do it for my foundations class and also my nutrition class, so you'll see me do that a little bit later. But you can see I just highlighted that just so I know that it sticks out to me that, hey, I need to do this ASAP. This is the most important thing I need to do for this class at the moment. So that is why it's highlighted. So now I'm going to go through every single class, write down all of my assignments, and I will show you guys when I am done. Alright, so this is all of my homework that I have left. Just so you guys know, modules include readings and lectures. Sometimes there's little videos I need to watch, but for the sake of space, I just wrote the module. So I wrote down everything that I had to do, all of my tasks for every single class that I have left for the semester. And now on the right hand side for the days of the week, I'm going to write down when I want to do these things. And I don't have any particular order. I just kind of pick and choose when I want to do things. So that is how I'm going to do this, and I will show you guys when I am done.
That's good.
Alright, so I finished everything that I had to do. I wrote down all of my tasks and I designated a day to do them. I usually like to group it by class. So usually one day I'll focus heavy on my foundations class, or one day I'll focus heavy on my nutrition class. But you guys can see I actually mapped out, I was gonna do my ATI exams the day of Thanksgiving, just in the morning before my family got here. And you guys can see, so right now I'm planning out the week from the 25th through the 1st, which is my Thanksgiving break. And then the next week I actually have nothing. I just have my ATI exams, and then that's really what I'm gonna use to study for finals. And then if you're curious, the highlighted yellow is my finals schedule for this semester. So I have a final every single day besides the Wednesday. I just highlighted it just so I knew that was my finals week, but there you have it.
All right, so on to my organizational tips. These are just things that I thought of off the top of my head, and I thought that these could be of use to you guys. So I just have 8 different things. I wrote them down in my notes, and we're just gonna get started. So my first and biggest tip, probably the most obvious out of all of these, is to use a planner. It really is that easy, guys. That's my biggest tip for anyone who wants to get organized and who wants to learn to manage their time more, is to just get a dang planner. I personally use a physical copy planner, which is my bullet journal that you guys just saw, and I also use Google Calendar. And the reason I use both is because I don't always have access to my planner. Like sometimes I'm on the go and I just don't have my planner with me, so I like to have everything in my phone. So on my Google Calendar, all I have are like my events, my appointments, and my exams. I don't put any assignments in here just because I don't really need it in there. I have my planner for that. I do like to use a planner. I'm a huge planning person. You guys just saw how I plan out my weeks. I do that every single week. This layout is a little bit different than it would look like for a normal week, just because this is a Thanksgiving break and I'm trying to get everything done for finals, so it looks a little bit different just how I laid it out. But that's the general gist of what I do, is I just grab all of my assignments, write them down, and then map them out onto my week, and I map out when I want to do it, so I know every single day I have a list of things to do, and that's really just what keeps me organized. It keeps me productive, and it's a great study hack. That is my first tip, is to use a planner. My second tip is to plan out your semesters by writing down your exams, your quizzes, anything that you have to go on for your semester. Usually they have schedules out in your syllabi at the beginning of the semester, so I will just take that and put it in my planner. I'm gonna show you guys. I've showed this spread before on my channel. I don't really remember what page it was on, but it's just my semester at a glance. You guys can see I have all of my exams and my quizzes and holidays for school academics all in one spread. So whenever I go to make my monthly spreads, I just refer back to this so I can see when my exams are. And this is really nice because I can see when my busy weeks are going to be. So like if you guys look at October, you guys can see that this week I had 2 exams and a quiz. So like I know that that week's going to be busier than the next week if I don't have anything. So this is just really nice to get an overview of when your exams are. So that is my second tip. My third tip goes along with the whole theme of this video, and that's to plan out your weeks. I showed you guys how I do it. There's many different ways that you can do it, but I just like to have my whole list of tasks that I have to do for the week with my assignments, any lectures, any readings that I need to do. I just write it down and then I place them in their designated days. Obviously, I know that's not going to be ideal for every single person because I am an online student and I don't have designated lecture days I need to go. I can pick and choose when I want to do things, but you can always tailor it to you and your school schedule and make it work for you. So that is just what I like to do, but I definitely think planning my weeks out helps me a lot, especially if I have a week when, like last week I went to Alabama, so I got all of my work done before I left, so then I didn't have to cram and I didn't have anything to worry about over the weekend when I wanted to have fun. So planning out your weeks like that ensures that you get your work done if you're planning to have fun on the weekend or if you have a trip planned out or something. So definitely plan out your week. My fourth tip is to keep your classes separate. And what I mean by this is, first of all, I'm a huge believer in having separate notebooks, like your notebooks when you have classes. I don't like the 5 subjects or the 3 subject notebooks. I just don't like how it's all in one place like that. For convenience, yes, it makes sense, but I just like to physically have my own notebook for each class. I think it just makes sense like that in my head. But another thing is what I mean in my planner is to keep your classes separate. As you guys saw in my in this spread, I have a page for every single class, and that's what I mean by keeping it separate, so you can see what you have for each class. Because I know sometimes it's easy to overlook certain classes for those bigger classes. So right now my patho kind of overlooks and shadows some of my easier classes, like my ethics class or my concepts class. Like, they're really easy classes and it's easy to forget about them, but if you keep it separate and you write everything down on its own, you won't forget it no matter how easy the class may be. I don't color code really, I just write out my class numbers as you guys saw, but that can also help you too. So my 5th tip is to develop a routine, and what I mean by that is not even just for school, but like to develop a routine, like a sleep schedule, develop a morning routine that you do every single day, develop a night routine, develop a study routine, find your perfect study spot. Once you start getting into a routine, you're more likely to go do stuff and not procrastinate, because you know that, like, oh, it's the morning, I always go study at 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock now, I need to go study. Stuff like that. I'm a huge routine person. I have a very set routine now and I'm really happy with it. So I think setting a routine for yourself will help you stay organized and help you stay productive, so that you're not just nilly-dilly doing things and you forget to do something. So I think developing a routine is so important, and it's good for your health too. Like, if you have a set schedule, you're more like awake, you're more alive. If you develop a schedule to wake up at like 7 a.m., do your morning routine, go study by 9, study until like 4 or 5, and then, I don't know, have dinner, work out, have a night routine, go to bed by like 10 o'clock, you're good to go. You're golden. My next tip is to highlight your due dates, and this more goes to like on the planner side of things is what I mean by that. And I also showed this, I didn't show this in my plan with me just because this was a different setup than I normally do for finals. But in my normal day-to-day weekly routine, this is my weekly spread for last week, but you guys can see I have right here I had a discussion post that's due on Wednesday, so I highlighted that. Or over here I have a reply or a module assessment. So I had a list of tasks that I had to get done, but none of those were technically due on this day. I just wanted to do it on this day. Whereas here, this is a specific due date. I had to post my discussion post on a Wednesday, otherwise it'd be late. I'd get docked points, I would get a 0. So that's what I mean by highlighting your due dates. It just kind of keeps it separate in my brain so that I know that, like, okay, this is just my list of tasks for the day. However, I do have something that I need to get done. I just like to highlight that stuff so it sticks out to me, like, hey, you need to get this done, it needs to be turned in, it's gonna be late, you're gonna lose points, so that I don't forget. My 7th tip is to set due dates before your actual due dates. And by this I mean, if you have a paper that's due on like a Monday, I would try to get it done by Friday, because I don't want to have the weekend to do my paper, because I usually spend my weekends either catching up on sleep or catching up on stuff or getting ahead. So I don't really like to use it for assignments, because I have a routine where I like to do other things on weekends and not do assignments like that. So that's what I mean by setting due dates. It's really good for planning and organizing. You don't want to ever leave something till last minute, because you never know what's going to come up. I would definitely try to set due dates before your actual due date, just so you're staying on top of it and you're not falling behind. It's also really like good mentally, like when you get things done early, you're like, heck yeah, I'm on top of my stuff. So it's really good. It's a feel good type of thing, but again, organization wise and productivity, getting things done before they're actually due really helps. And my last one is not really like a tip, but it kind of is, and that's just to take clean and detailed notes. I have my study with me, you guys can go see how I take my notes, but I used to take like chicken scratch notes, like they would be like illegible, like you couldn't even see what it was, like everything was disorganized, it just was not clean, and I found it so hard to study like that. When I would try to go back, I would be like, what the heck was I saying here? Like, you don't know. I like to take detailed, clean notes that I can refer back to and actually read it and understand what I was trying to say there. I know sometimes in class it can be really hard to write down really fast, and that's why if you can prepare your lectures beforehand, if your professor posts the lectures before, definitely take a peek at them. Maybe just print the slides if you can. That way you're not like ferociously writing them. But I have found that in my undergrad, my professors do post the lectures, if not before the lecture after the lecture, so if you miss something you can always go back and get it. But try to take clean detailed notes. If that means having to rewrite your notes, do it. If you want to type your notes, it's even better, it's faster. Taking clean detailed notes, it's really good, and it's going to help you retain the information, and it's going to be really awesome when you need to go back and you can actually read what you wrote. So but that is actually everything I had to say. I tried to come up with things that I use in my day-to-day life and things that I actually follow and use. And hopefully this helps you guys to get more productive, to get more organized, and to get on top of your game. I know the semester is ending now, but hopefully you guys can take these tips and kind of think about how you can use them in your life when the second semester starts. You know, the spring semester, we're gonna grind it out and we're gonna do great on our exams. So that is everything that I had to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a fat thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you're not already. And okay, first of all, I get a lot of hate when I do this. My friends make fun of me when I throw the peace sign up. It's literally a reflex. It just happens. I can't control it. It takes over my life. It's really embarrassing, but I do it, so okay.